What's up, everybody? We're talking UFC today. You know, wait for a little bit, wait for some people to get in here. We're talking UFC today. Appreciate everybody that's in the live chat. If you get in here, please like the live. But yeah, let's see what we could get into today, guys. Gonna give it some time. Really excited about 324 coming up. Excited about 325. Excited. It's about 5 p.m. Eastern. 6 weeks, UFC. That's tough. I know everybody's going to be fiending for their UFC, but what are we going to do? 6 weeks, no UFC. It is tough, but we could talk the fights, talk predictions. Um, it could be me in the chat. Y'all, we could talk about fights, predictions. I have a huge following over on TikTok. I'm trying to spread that over here to YouTube. Gonna see how this go. Gonna see how this go, gang. I love doing these lives. It's real cool to get into the nitty gritty with everybody. What up, Puck Short? What's going on, bro? How are you? Yo, what is going on, my friend? How are you doing today? Appreciate you for liking the live. Weren't you in here before? You've been in here before, haven't you, bro? I don't want to get you wrong. I feel like I remember you. You were in here before. You've been in here before. I'm pretty sure. I remember you from a previous live. You're good. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. I'm glad you're good. I'm good too. I'm living. But this 6 weeks UFC, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's real tough for someone like me. I every Saturday, it's like a ritual, bro. Oh, you're the first one that subscribed because of the van win. Okay. I remember that. You were like, if you're right, I'll subscribe, and I was right. Unfortunately, I wasn't right by the circumstances that I wanted to be right, but I was right. So I'll take my W's where I can get them. Where are you from, Puncture? Where are you from, my friend? You have a very unique name. Where are you from? Where are you from? I like to know where the audience is from. Uh, I have a big audience over on TikTok, and I'm starting my audience here in on YouTube. So it's real cool to get to know where my peoples is from and everything. You're from the Netherlands? Okay. That's what's up. Netherlands, huh? That's dope, bro. That's dope. That's super cool. Do you like any fighters from the Netherlands? Let me know. What fighters do you like? Who are your favorite fighters? Let's talk. Guys, we have the UFC for no UFC for 6 weeks. Let's talk about the UFC while we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Join this by accident will stay, bro. This is literally just UFC talk. This is all we're talking. We're just talking UFC. There's no UFC for 6 weeks. So for my actual MMA fans that like MMA, we're gonna just talk UFC opinions, bro. There's not many fighters from the Netherlands. I like Islam and Pantoja. I'm a Pantoja guy too, and I like Islam as well. Do I like to fight? I mean, I don't mind the fight. I wouldn't do it now. I'm kind of getting up there, so I'm not going to be fighting or anything. I'll let the professionals do it. I'm just going to talk about it. But I've trained and stuff if that's what you're asking. I've done some jujitsu, a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of boxing here and there, you know? I love combat sports. I've been watching combat sports all my life. Have I ever been knocked out? No, I have not been knocked out. Brother, I'm Hispanic, my friend. I'm Hispanic. I've been a little rocked, but I haven't been knocked out. We don't really get knocked out like that. You know what I mean? It happens from time to time, but we don't really get knocked out like that. I don't do fighting. I like to watch UFC. I am untrained. That doesn't matter. You don't have to train to be a fan. Like, I've never trained full on MMA altogether, but I did a little bit of here, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I enjoy the actual like sport of people that actually can mix it all together and do it at the highest level. Listen, I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna be a UFC champion. I'm not that athletic or that good at fighting or have that much time to take to train. The thing is that those guys got a lot more time than we do. Listen, I'm trying to work two jobs. Hi, what's up? I can't say your name. Dudas? 7 years of judo, which is useless? Nah, bro. Judo is not useless at all. Judo is actually very good in MMA. Actually, Islam, one of your favorite fighters, he's a black belt in judo, and he uses that a lot. Judo is great for your balance. It has great throws. I would argue that it's better for the upper body takedowns than Greco-Roman, in my opinion. Boxing worse than UFC in one aspect, in like a combat sport of like fighting. Yes, and I think entertainment wise, I think the UFC is better too. I'll be honest. I feel like the UFC is a lot better. I like to watch the UFC more than I like to watch boxing. I am a boxing guy too, though. I love Naoya in a way. I like obviously I like Bud Crawford. He went out there and put a show on against Canelo. I like Teofimo Lopez, Sabriel Matisse. Like I like a lot of boxers too. Don't get me wrong. But this is a UFC live, you know what I'm saying? So we're talking UFC. But if you want to talk boxing, you can ask boxing. I'm cool with all that. If you guys are enjoying this live and you're watching, please hit that like button. Please comment down below. And please subscribe, guys. I'm here to literally talk MMA, bro. Boxing has a better heavyweight division than the UFC. That's true. Heavyweight in the UFC is it's low tier. It's not very good, to be honest. I'll be honest. Heavyweight is not the best. We got a lot of stinkers at heavyweight. A lot of slow, like NFL dropouts, college football dropouts, guys that weren't athletic enough to play rugby, stuff like that. I feel like boxing heavyweights has more people in there that actually wanted to be a boxer since they were a kid. I feel like that's the difference. But we'll get there eventually in MMA though. Eventually we're gonna have people that want to be MMA fighters from a young age going all the way up into the, into the UFC and etc. I mean, we're seeing it now. We have guys like Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van that like yes, well, Joshua Van hasn't been training for that long, but Tatsuro Taira has. And we have these guys that are young and they're coming up in the sport and it's crazy, bro. UFC is so bad. Heavyweight in UFC is so bad. Plus the hype championship fight ended in the it did. The eye poke was really unfortunate. You're definitely right, Puncture. Yeah, and then everybody called Tom a quitter, but do you really want to call Tom a quitter? Like, did Tom really quit, or was he just being smart? He's the heavyweight champion. He has everything to lose. So I kind of feel like the UFC should have cut him some slack. That's just my opinion. People in the chat, make sure you ask questions. If you're liking the live, please like the live. That helps the algorithm. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. I love talking to the UFC community, whether we have 1,000 people in here or 6 people. You know what I'm saying? So you guys keep your comments coming. I appreciate it. Like the live. Let's talk UFC. I know we got more UFC fans out there. I know we got more UFC fans. I know we do. Appreciate everybody that's in here. What do you think of Waldo Cortez Acosta? Brother, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty biased. I'm biased. Want to know why? Because he's from the Dominican Republic, right? My family is from Puerto Rico, right? So we are like sister islands, they would say. So like I have a bias towards him because I want him to do well because he comes from a similar culture to mine. So I do have a little bit of a bias towards him. I won't lie to you. I enjoy watching Waldo, 100%. What do you think of Waldo? What do you think of Waldo? And tell me, is this a good live, Puncture? Are you enjoying the live? Let me know. Are you enjoying the live? I want to make sure the people in here are enjoying the live. Honestly, he should get the next title shot if he wins against Dilu. I think so too. Yeah, for sure he should get the next title shot if he wins against D. Lou. Why not? We need to keep it. We need to keep the heavyweight division rolling. I wish we could have seen Volkov and Waldo. I'm not gonna lie. I think that would have been a scrap. That would have been fun. I wouldn't have mind watching that. To be honest, it's a good live. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. It's a little bit harder here on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. My TikTok, I'm able to get like a good like 50 people pretty consistently. But like if this is what it's gonna be, I'm okay with it being this way too. I read all the comments, I speak to everybody, and we talk UFC. I mean, maybe I should get a better background so people know I'm talking about UFC, but it's the name of the live. So like if you're a UFC fan, let's talk about UFC. You know what I mean? I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you liking the live. I definitely do. That's dope. That's fire, and I appreciate that. All the way from the Netherlands. Are you Dutch? Like ethnically, or are you from somewhere else? Shore. You have an interesting name. That's why I'm asking. You're welcome, man. Just keep working. The growth will come. Yeah, I know. I know, man. I'm not too worried about the growth right now. I'm just gonna keep grinding. They enjoy me on TikTok and they enjoy me on other platforms, so they're gonna enjoy me on this one too. Get used to seeing my face. You're ethnically Dutch, okay? But yeah, get used to seeing my face. I will be here live more often because usually I'm doing my TikTok because my TikToks, I got 3K on there, but I'm almost at 1K over here. I just hit 500. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm someone that you could ask me any UFC related question, and I'm cool with answering it. I love talking UFC with the boys. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully the algorithm recognizes that your boy wants to talk to the boys about the UFC, and we could get popping. I know it's going to be pretty hard. I will see you live. I don't have TikTok, trying to stay away from it. Yeah, TikTok isn't the best. I'm not gonna lie. I only use TikTok as a filter to get into YouTube. I tried to get a bunch of my YouTube like clips up there. What is my GOAT list? You want a top five? What do you want, Puncture? Let me know. You want a top five? Any order? Like that's tough off the top of the dome, but I can't give you a GOAT list. Top five? I don't like to give him his credit. I really don't, but I'm gonna say John Jones is number one. I'll give GSP number two, Islam three, Mighty Mouse four, and I'll go Volkanovski five. That's what I like. I like that. I think that's a solid list. Honestly, if it came to who I like the most, I would put DJ number one because I like DJ a lot. But yeah, I would say that. I would say John, GSP, Islam, DJ, and Volk. I would say that. I think that's a solid list. Because you got to have a good mix of like the old school guys and the modern guys. So I feel like that's a good list that blends both. I'd probably get hate for that, but it is what it is. People like to discredit Mighty Mouse a lot, but Mighty Mouse is really really good. Like they don't understand. They don't. People don't understand how good Mighty Mouse is. He did things in the octagon that you'd be like bro, suplexing someone into an armbar is crazy. You don't understand, like, to do that at that level is insane. It really is. What's your top five? Let me know your top five. Drop that in the comment, bro. What's your top five? I like to hear that. I like these discussions. And before I wasn't rocking with Islam in the top five, but like Islam, the double champ status, tying Anderson's win streak record, like crazy. I don't do PD users, so Islam, GSP, DJ, Volk, and DC. I would put GSP ahead of Islam because he has more title defenses. And I understand the PD users thing. I don't like to do that either. So if you let me do it without PD users, I might put someone else in my list. To be honest. And to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of Volk. I'm not a fan of Volk really. I'm not a fan of Volk. I'm not really a big fan of. I'm not a fan of John Jones for multiple reasons. Volkanovski, I have no reason to dislike him as a human being. He seems like a great human. I just don't like Volkanovski's style too much. And I'm a Max Holloway fan, so I might be coping. Of course, man, the GOAT can't be a cheater. Bro, I don't like John Jones at all. So if you give me the ability to kick him out my list, I'll kick him out my list. You know what I'm saying? I only put him in there because, you kind of have to say his name when you're talking about the UFC GOAT. You kind of had to say John Jones, but if we could say no, he's a steroid user, I'm all for it. Let's get him out of here. Kick rocks. Kick rocks. I'm not a big Patty. Patty could become a champion. Thoughts on if Patty could become champion? I mean, Patty can become champion, bro. Depending on these circumstances right now, Sam. Ilya might be gone for like a long time. He might vacate the title. This might get elevated to undisputed, depending on what's going on with Ilya and his situation with his wife and the divorce. Like that, this really might end up getting elevated to a different type of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like it might be different. So Patty could definitely become the undisputed champion in this weird alternate reality that we live in. Isn't that crazy? Of course, the GOAT can't be a cheater. I did what beats rock. I typed in drug tests against Bones and I won. That's funny. That's funny. Guys, if you're enjoying the live, please hit that like button. I appreciate it. If you hit the like button, that helps me a lot. I'm trying to grow this channel. We're talking UFC. Ask your questions in that chat. I love to answer any of y'all UFC related questions. We have 2 big cards on the way in about 6 weeks, 5.5 weeks. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Let's not be shy. Let's talk about it. Let's like the live and let's comment. I love doing these lives, but I love it when I have an active chat too. So I appreciate it. But who should get the title shot at welterweight? Well, if we're talking about merit, puncture, if we're talking about merit, it probably should be Ian Gary or Shavkat. But I'm telling you this, and it's because the era that we are in right now with Paramount and the UFC trying to. I'll say that the UFC is in an entertainment era. So I think what the UFC is going to do is give that to Kamaru Usman because Kamaru Usman's a bigger name. But I think Ian Gary probably is most deserving of the title shot at this point in time. You can make the argument for Michael Morales, but Michael Morales, in my opinion, needs one more. And I like Michael Morales a lot. What up, DJ? What's going on, bro? I appreciate you for jumping into the YouTube live, my brother. Hit that like button if you can. I appreciate it. And we're just talking random UFC questions. This is a small live. It's not like my TikTok one, so I can get to all of them. But at some point we're gonna have like 5K in here. I'm telling you. I love the UFC community, so you know how we get. You know how we get. We're gonna be in here. We're gonna be talking UFC. This stuff. I love the UFC more than any other sport. So, any chance I get to talk about it, I love it. I think we should get Ian Gary versus Islam, then Michael Morales versus Prates, and Shavkat versus Kamaru. I think that's excellent matchmaking, Puncture. I think that's excellent matchmaking. I think that's the way it should be too. I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Morales fight Kamaru Usman though. You be popping off on TikTok the last few times I got in. You had 50+ people. Yeah, bro, we're popping on TikTok now, man. The TikTok algorithm really likes us, so that's dope. I hoping that I could get to YouTube that way, cause like YouTube is, this is like this is the real platform. Like if you could succeed on YouTube, then you made it. That's how I feel. YouTube's the real platform. TikTok is the filter, my friend. Prates is a pure scrap, power versus power. Listen, chat. I think Carlos Prates is the hardest hitting UFC fighter pound for pound. Because the way he puts people out, like, don't get me wrong, Michael Morales be putting people out. But like Protez, he be knocking people out cold, bro. Like they be sleep, like not moving for a little while. It's different. It's different. It's different. Morales like kind of TKOs people, overwhelms them with his like he's really big, so he kind of overwhelms them with his strength and physicality. Carlos Protez is literally like touch of death, like boop, and you're out. It's crazy. It's crazy. That man's a problem. That man's a problem. That man's a problem. Guys, keep asking questions in the live. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, TikTok's going well. YouTube is gonna go well. I'm gonna make it go well because it was like this at first, but the more and more I go live, the more algorithm will understand me, and I'll keep doing these if I have to. That's why Charlie and all them 2020 TikTokers never made it over here. That is true. That is true. You gotta be everywhere, man. Don't forget to put hashtags on the stream after the stream ended, so that the algorithm can learn which audience to send your lives to. Appreciate the tip. I just started putting descriptions in my live so people can understand and the algorithm can know who to show this to. What's the last MMA event you attended? MMA event. I went to a bare knuckle. If you want to say that, I went to a bare knuckle not that long ago. But last UFC event I went to was I went to International Fight Week about 2 years ago. I saw Pantoja beat Moreno for the title to win, the first title, the beginning of his title reign, right? And then Volkanovski TKO'd Yair Rodriguez. There was mad finishes on that card too. It was a really good card. You're welcome, man. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I appreciate the support. I love this TikTok community. What would be my dream fight? Ooh. Right now, I mean, I hate to sound basic, but I would love to see Ilya and Islam at 155. I think that's fair. I would like to see Ilya and Armin like at this point in time. But if I had to pick one from like the past, like I would love to see GSP and Anderson Silva fight in their prime. To be honest, I think that would have been a scrap, or maybe like a Mighty Mouse versus Pantoja would have been a scrap. Like I would have loved to see Mighty Mouse and Pantoja fight each other. I'm not gonna lie. Let me sip my water. I'm over here stumbling over my words. I appreciate you guys for being here. 3 likes is more than I've gotten in an hour live. Ilya Islam would be at 170. I like to see that more since the stakes are higher. I agree, but I don't know. Something about Ilya at 170 doesn't sit right for me. Like I would just rather see it at 55. But I guess that'll probably be unfair to Islam since Islam just put that weight on. But Islam did say he was open to going back down at some point. So I don't see how that's an issue. I think that should be fine. I'm not gonna lie. I do think Islam will probably win, but I like Ilya a lot, so I might be just biased towards Ilya. To be honest, maybe because I understand Ilya is like I listen to his Spanish interviews and stuff like that, and I like his swagger. And Makachev is kind of like he kind of doesn't really have swagger. If I'm being nice about it, you know what I'm saying? Man, guys, like the live if you can. If you can't like the live, comment down below. We like talking in here. We talk MMA. Ilya at 170, maybe the first triple champ. If I think Poatan is more likely to move up to heavyweight and win the heavyweight belt than Ilya at 70. Ilya at 70 needs to be the right opponent, maybe like an Islam, but he's small for 70, bro. Like Ilya fought at 35 before, so him being all the way up at 70 would be crazy. Like Ilya was fighting at 35 on the regionals, moved up to 45, and now he's at 55. Vamos Ribovic. What's next for Marina Rodriguez? I thought Marina Rodriguez retired after her last fight. Did she not? I could have sworn she retired after her last fight, bro. Hector Sandoval versus Stefan Struve with Fee families. That's such a bro. That's a hardcore fight, DJ. Like who would say that? Like, at least I matched up two flyweight goats together. Marina Rodriguez retired though. Vamos Ribovic. Esteban Ribovic is super dope, by the way. I like Esteban Ribovic. He's really good. He's really good. Even though I picked against him for some reason, I thought that Elvis Brenner was going to be able to beat him. Looking back at it, I don't know why I did that. Maybe I was just trying to be different or something. I do like the Argentine fighters, though. I think Argentina is becoming a new hub for fighters, bro. BSD versus the Bronx. I think Charles Oliveira would whoop him, bro. I think he'd whoop him. I think Charles would whoop him, bro. BSD, hear me out, chat. Hear me out. You guys might think this is going to be disrespectful to BSD, but this is how I feel about BSD. BSD is like a DDP at lightweight. That's how I compare him to a DDP at lightweight. Not very technical, but very big, very physical. He's gonna scrap with you, find a way to win. But like, I've never watched a BSD fight and like, man, this is technically brilliant. Never in my life. I watch BSD. I'm like, man, this guy's slow. His punches are wide. I guess his kicks are pretty good, but I've never watched a BSD fight and been impressed. And that's the same way I feel about DDP. DDP went on a whole championship run without me being impressed by anything he did. I'm over here watching him and I'm like, what? I'm like, this guy sucks. How is he the champion? I'm like, he's trash. How is he the champion? But some guys just find ways to win. Some guys just find ways to win. And you got to respect him for that. You do. You got to respect him for that. BSD gets so much pressure. If Charles lets BSD attack the chin, Charles, that would be dangerous. Bro, I think Charles would walk him down, bro. I'm not even going to lie. I think Charles would walk him down, get him in the clinch. Charles would probably take him down. It might look like the Gamrot fight. I'm not going to lie. Like BSD might shoot a takedown on Charles, and Charles is working his submissions, and he ends up on the back. Like, I don't know. I do think BSD is going to beat Dan Hooker, though. I do think he's going to beat Dan Hooker. I'll say that. He should beat Dan Hooker. Like, BSD is good enough to beat a Dan Hooker. I had him beating Beneil Dariush. But, bro, Beneil doesn't have a chin anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, Beneil's chin... That's been suspect, but, like, it's really bad now. Like BSD... Like, he has some knockouts, but BSD don't face down, ass up is crazy, bro. BSD had this motherfucker, like, literally face down in the ground, ass up in the air. Crazy work. Crazy work. Appreciate you guys liking the live. I appreciate that. What up, Zabib? I hope I said your name right. I'll just say Zai, okay? Or Zeb. I don't know how to say your name, but I appreciate you coming in here and stopping in here, my brother. I'm not the best at pronouncing certain names, so bear with me, okay? Bear with me, guys. I'm here talking UFC. If you enjoy talking about the UFC, drop your comments, say what's up. I'm trying to build this platform, and then at some point we're gonna have like 1 million people in here, bro. I also think Diego Lopez, if he loses against Volk, he should move up to lightweight against the top 15 lightweight. So I think Diego Lopez he might get Volk this time. Eventually, Volk, not even eventually, it's happened already. Volk already got dropped in that first fight. Like, it's going to be hard for him to survive a dangerous Diego Lopez 2 fights in a row. That's a tough ask. It's a tough ask. So I don't know. I think Diego Lopez might finesse his way into a championship. And if he does, Volk will probably retire because, in my opinion, if Diego Lopez beats Volk, he's probably going to finish him. It's probably going to be like a knockout if he wins. So we would see Volk retire. And unfortunately, Diego would probably lose to Movsar because I see that going that way too. I think he'd lose to Movzar. I mean, he already did. I was at that fight too, by the way. I was at the event that Diego made his debut. I was there. I actually watched your stream a few days ago before Marab and Yan fight. Guess you forgot me. I I don't remember, bro. I'm sorry. I have a TikTok, bro, that I also do, bro. And I had like over 50 people in there on the regular. But I do remember your name. I just don't remember if I was saying it right. You look familiar. True, although he doesn't this time, he doesn't come off a very nasty Ilya KO. Yeah, but he had plenty of time to recover from the knockout, to be honest. He had plenty of time to recover from the knockout in that first fight. And Volk's already been kind of chinny. Like he was getting knocked down in his Chad Mendes fight before he won. You know, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people we love Volk. I get it. But Volk's always been susceptible to getting dropped in fights, getting rocked. He's a tough guy and he has great cardio. And I say this a lot. People that have really good cardio, usually if their chin's not that good, they could get dropped and they could recover. But like surviving Diego Lopez is twice. That's tough, bro. It's tough. And Diego's looking bigger and better every fight. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, but John Silva was kind of touching Diego up in that second. I'm not gonna lie to you. John Silva was. Listen, if John Silva would have took his time and been patient, he could have won that fight. I think he could have won that fight because he was starting to find his flow. You know, John Silva when he gets in his flow, he just starts. All these fighting nerds actually like Carlos Prates is kind of the same way. When they get this certain flow, you're like, they about to finish this guy. You got to disrupt their rhythm early, bro. John Silva is scary though. That man has crazy power. Yeah, he does. He has good power. His striking is pretty technical too. But at the same time, he's a bonehead, so he kind of threw that fight away. He kind of threw that fight away. At least that's how I feel about it. I feel like that's a fight that he could have easily had in the back pocket, and he kind of threw it away. With yeah, he definitely could have won that. That's tough. That's tough. Appreciate you guys being in here. If you haven't liked the live already, please like the live. I appreciate it. UFC discussions. We'll try to go daily. How would I save heavyweight? Brother, how would I save heavyweight? I would go to every major organization and try to take their top 2 or 3 guys and start releasing some of these other guys. Like, honestly, I would have liked getting that guy Rugrug off of one championship over the Buchecha guy that we got. Buchecha, I knew Buchecha was a jiu-jitsu nerd. And how bad is Kennedy? Because Kennedy almost lost to Buchecha. How bad is Kennedy? Kennedy is cheeks. How bad is he? How bad is heavyweight? Yeah, get Rico from Glory for sure. Anatoly, the one that beat RDR and won, grab him. The guy that's champion over in KSW, go grab that guy. Grab all the heavyweights and that you can off the regionals and get rid of these bums. Get rid of the blobs. Slowly start phasing out the blobs. Because the heavyweight division has not been great in years. The days of the Cain Velasquez and JDS and all those guys from that period of time, like that period is long. Alistair Overeem from the Netherlands, shout out to you guys. Yeah, bro, that era is long gone. Era is long gone. Which is sad because that was a good era. That was definitely a good era of heavyweight. I used to like JDS a lot. I love Alistair. His clinch was nasty. Man, those were the times. Derek Lewis was still Derek Lewising. And get Ngannou versus Tom Aspinall, White House card, just one fight contract with Ngannou. Yeah, I mean, I think Ngannou's more likely to fight John Jones than he is Tom Aspinall, the way that Dana is. You know Dana's a Jones glazer, but wouldn't it be nice to see Ngannou knock out Jones? Like, wouldn't that be like something that I don't know about you, but I'd be doing that hand rub. You know what I'm saying? I'd be hitting that hand rub. I'd be hype. And down goes John Jones, ground and pound on the uncut. Oh man, nice. I don't understand why people defend John Jones so much. I don't care if he's one of the go to the sport. I don't. Why do we defend John Jones? John Jones does not deserve respect. He's a bad human being. You can respect him as a person, like as a human, but why do we cherish him so much? I don't understand that. Why do we cherish John Jones? Why? That would be a firefight. Plus, Dana already said that John Jones will not be on the White House card. Dana says a lot of things, though. Dana says uh, if somebody doesn't want to fight, Dana's like, the kid didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight. So you can never really trust what Dana says, in my opinion. Dana's not very trustworthy. That's how I feel about Dana. Dana's not very trustworthy. And Puncture, I've been making long form content too. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've been making long form content. I have like 3 videos, something like that on my channel. So we're slowly, we climbing up. We climbing up. You got to just keep grinding up here. But we chilling. Fair enough. You've seen all my videos? I appreciate that, bro. How long have you been subscribed? Puncture, how long have you been subscribed? I appreciate you for the support, my friend. I appreciate that. From the Netherlands too. I actually have a good amount of people from the Netherlands that like watching my content on my TikTok. So I get a lot of loves in the Netherlands. I'm gonna have to go travel to Europe one of these days and see what that's all about. Since the van win as promised, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. How did you feel about the van win? Because I know that I know I was right about my prediction, but did you feel like it was kind of cheap because of what happened? Be honest. And you're a man of your word. I respect that. I respect that. A lot of people they're not man of their word. A lot of people say I'll sub if this happens, and then they don't sub. I had one guy won a bunch of money using my predictions, and then he said that he was gonna. I got you. I'm gonna bless you with some money if this is right. These 3 picks, it was right. He said I'm putting this much money on it. I'm gonna give you this much. I'm gonna bless you. Never bless me. It's all good though. It's all good though. We give out the info for free. The money come later. I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised on the Gaethje Patty fight. I got Justin by decision. I will say this, Smoke. If Patty can't get his takedowns going, and Justin's a good wrestler, he's not the best jiu-jitsu guy, but he's a good wrestler. If Patty can't get his takedowns going, it's going to be a long night for Patty. Because Patty don't move his head off the center line. He's very open to you could definitely leg kick him. He's open to leg kicks. His striking defense isn't the best. I should say. He pulls with his head back on a straight line. So I definitely know what you're saying. I can see it. I can see what you're talking about. But Patty got a chin, so that might be able to carry him through the fight. But Patty has a gas tank too. That's another thing. Patty has a suspect gas tank, and a lot of people are sleeping on the fact that gas tank ain't been tested since that Ferguson fight, and he kind of gassed out there. I'm not gonna lie. Plus, I found a great creator. I honestly hated the win, but a promise is a promise. Plus, I found a great creator. Your takes are pretty good, although I think that Pantoja would definitely win a rematch. That's fair, bro. And I do have, people say I have solid takes. And most of the time, I'm not with. I don't just join the herd of sheep. I have my own opinion on MMA as a sport. I don't go and watch Guru or go and watch this creator and go and watch that creator and look at what they're saying and then that influence my pick. No. When I'm watching fights, I look at the fights. I see how these things match up. I look at little things like size, I look at the age, I look at all of that. And it's not just level of competition either, guys. Sometimes it's styles make fights, and people miss that a lot. Happy Checkers, hello to you, my friend. Like the live if you're enjoying. Appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate you for stopping by. Anybody in here, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Right now, I'm doing this for the love of the game, my friend. I'm doing this for the love of the game. So I appreciate anybody who stops by in here. We're talking MMA. So if you're a UFC fan or know anything about the UFC, go ahead, drop your comments, ask your questions. You know, that's what we do. MMA guru, we coming for you. Yeah. So I respect that. I thought Pantoja would win because grapplers against strikers. Proving the win for the grappler. I kind of see Van as a fluke win. I mean, that's a fair take to see Van as a fluke win. I mean, it's not his fault that Pantoja got injured, but it is what it is. And I saw it more as like Joshua Van does have underrated takedown defense, and he is way younger than Pantoja. And the good thing about Joshua Van and Tatsuro Taira too in that division is these guys in between their fights are getting at like the rate they're getting better is crazy. The next generation of MMA fighter is going to be insane. I could just see it. Like Tatsuro Taira was low key whooping on Moreno on the feet. He was hitting him with these rear uppercuts. His jab was stiff. His head movement still isn't the best. But like I feel like this new group of MMA fighters coming up right now, we're in for a treat. A lot of these guys are really good early into their careers, so I cannot wait to see what guys like Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van end up turning into. I do think Patty chokes Ilya. Come on, Snowman. What are we doing? What are we saying? Patty choking on dino nuggets, bro. He choking on pastries, man. Choke these nuts. Get out of here, bro. We're Ilya Glazers over here, friend. We're Ilya Glazers. Unless that stuff about him and his wife is true, then I gotta hop off the train. But I've been supporting Ilya since like early, like before his UFC run. Honestly, on his debut, I was all over him. To be honest, as a fighter. Dang, don't leave the live, guys. Jeez. Was I supposed to agree and say Patty chokes him? I'm not gonna say that. I'm sorry. I'm not. Manel Cape versus your prediction for flyweight. Manel Cape versus Van wins. Then Van Pantoja 2. Pantoja wins. I think so. I think that Joshua Van is going to beat Manel Cape. I think he'll beat Pantoja. I think he loses to Tatsuro Taira. I think Tatsuro Taira is the future of the division and the future champion. Which is crazy because when I first saw Tatsuro Taira fight, I was like, this motherfucker ain't shit. But then I'm watching him and I'm like, damn, he really is. Like, he's good. He's good. He's really good. I'm not going to lie. Underrated. Flyweight division does not get the love it gets. The flyweight bangers, those are usually the best fights on the card. Like you're over here asking about heavyweight. I don't even care about heavyweight. Show me more flyweight fights. Give me more bantamweight fights. Give me more featherweight fights, lightweight fights. 170 and under, that's what it's about. I also think Tatsuro Taira is the future, just a little bit of a different route. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I think Tatsuro Taira is which is good though, because when he wins, the market in Japan is going to be huge. You could throw him in the Saitama Super Arena. It's going to sell out, like, because the Japanese are going to support their own. I think the UFC needs to capitalize on Taira and Van being two male Asians, and then being able to put them in Asia for Asian event. You need to you need to, how do I say this? You need to capitalize on that market. At the end of the day, this is a business too. It's a business too. That's why Kaya Sakura got that title shot. But Tatsuro Taira is the real Japanese guy that can win the championship. But I do think that like we're gonna start getting more Japanese fighters now too, especially as a guy that knows a thing or two about wrestling. Uh, the Japanese wrestling team has been doing great in the Olympics, so it makes me wonder if those guys are going to transition over into MMA. And if they do, bro, we're in for a treat because you know these Japanese wrestlers are really good and they're all at the lower weight classes. And Japanese people they be scrapping, bro. They be scrapping. So yeah, the future looks bright for flyweight. The future looks bright for flyweight. I love flyweight. But Joshua Van's my favorite flyweight right now, to be honest. And it's not because he just became champion. I like Joshua Van before that. Joshua Van reminds me of my favorite fighter, Max Holloway. So especially early on in his career, because he throws like a lot of volume. He's not. I wouldn't consider him a power puncher. You know, he throws a lot of volume. He's very heavy in the boxing. The grappling seems like it's but his takedown defense is good. He really puts it on people. He kind of relies on his chin a bit. It reminds me of Holloway a lot. He has that early loss that kind of you look at kind of sideways, but he somehow became champion at a young age. Like, I mean, Max kind of has a fluke win over Charles Oliveira. Like, I don't know. Joshua Van definitely gives me like Max Holloway vibes. Worst to best for weight classes. Heavyweight's the worst. I agree with you. Light heavyweight second worst. I agree. Middleweight. Okay. Nah, bro. I think I would put lightweight. I'd move flyweight to number two. Put lightweight at number three and bantamweight at number four. That's how I would do it. Bantamweight hasn't. I mean, bantamweight is about to get more exciting now that Piotr Jan is the champion. But bro, when Marab was the champion, like bro, I was sick of watching the bantamweight division when Marab was champion. Marab ruined that division for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like you don't understand how much I disliked watching Marab fight. I hate watching Marab fight. Watching a guy shoot 50 takedowns and basically actively stalling the fight, I was sick of that, bro. I cannot stand watching him fight, bro. So when Marab lost, I was so happy. When he got kicked in the body and he was like, he's like bouncing, I was laughing. I swear, music to my ears. I sorry, about to go on Marab rant. I'm so happy he's not the champion anymore. I don't care if he was active. I don't. I did not enjoy watching him fight. Piotr Jan, way more exciting fighter to watch. Way more exciting fighter to watch. And I agree with you though. Marab is the bantamweight GOAT. He is. But man, did I not enjoy watching him. I really didn't. Like he was one of the worst fighters to watch, in my opinion. I did not enjoy his fights at all. I don't care if he's a nice guy. I don't care if he makes clips that make people laugh. I don't care if he shoots 60 takedowns and gets 5 of them. He's not fun to watch. I don't care. Not a fun guy to watch. If one of these Daggy fighters went and did that same shit, everyone would say it's boring. So I'm keeping the same energy. It's boring. It's boring. I don't enjoy it. I'm so glad he lost. I literally am so happy Piotr Jan brought violence back to the division. Fair. I think the most boring fighter to watch is Strickland. Let's be honest. No, I don't think Strickland's the worst fighter to watch. To be honest, I might rather watch Strickland than Marab. To be honest, at least I know I'm about to get a stand up fight. Not the funnest one, but at least I'm gonna get one. At least he's not stalling the whole time. To be honest, I don't know. Plus, comparing a middleweight to a bantamweight is kind of hard. Like, look at a high level bantamweight fight versus a high level middleweight fight. Not even close. The higher up we go up the weight classes, the worse the weight classes get. Like in terms of like skill and enjoyable fights. Like Piotr Jan, the way he mixes the martial arts, bro. Piotr Jan, Watching him, that's fun. Watching Marab, that shit's not fun. I don't care if you're a Marab fan and you say that watching Marab is fun, you are lying. That. I'm sorry, you're lying. You're lying. You said it's a crazy take. Nah. It's my Marab hate getting in the way, bro. It's my Marab hate getting in the way. You can't really compare a bantamweight to a middleweight, in my opinion. My Marab hate was getting in the way. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I don't mind Sean Strickland though. I don't mind Sean Strickland. I don't like his style, but I don't care too much about him. He doesn't make my blood boil. I know he gets on some people's nerves. He don't get on my nerves though. I'm okay with him. I appreciate you for being in here for so long, bro. You've been the life of the chat. So hopefully you stick around and you might become a moderator at some point. I always like to bless my OGs and give them moderator privileges and stuff. That's what I did on TikTok. That's the point. Nobody likes Sean Strickland style. Yeah, defense first. That weird Philly shell, throwing a tee. I get it. I get it. I do think he could beat Fluffy though. I think Strickland could beat Fluffy with that nasty style too. Because Strickland's somehow good. I don't understand. He's another guy. I watch him and I'm like, how is he good? How? But some guys just have styles that it just works out that way. Like somehow he's good. I don't get it, but somehow he's good. Somehow people watch that guy and they think that he's good. I don't understand. Sean Strickland's different, bro. But he's kind of like Marab in the way where people like him more for his personality than they do his fighting style. Cause bro don't talk nothing how he fight at all. With Sean Strickland, he talking about it's gonna be a war, man. It's gonna be a war, and then he goes out there and he just jabs and teeps the whole time. Like, but he's based though, so people like him. You know, crazy, crazy. If you guys are in here and you haven't liked the live, like the live. I appreciate it. If you like the live, we're talking UFC, and if you don't know anything about UFC, that's okay. Stay in and you know, comment if you can. He can't be Fluffy. He can't stay out of trouble enough to get the fight with Fluffy. I mean, it's already booked, bro. It's already booked. He's fighting Fluffy in 2 months or something, 2 or 3 months. He's fighting Fluffy pretty soon. Fluffy and Strickland. That's interesting because I do think Strickland has a style that could give Fluffy some issues. So might be an interesting watch, to be honest. I expect it not to be a very fun fight though. Especially if they neutralize each other, that might be boring. I'm not gonna lie. Isn't he suspended? He is or was, but it's booked already. He's fighting Fluffy. That's official. He's fighting Fluffy in a couple months, maybe next month. It's already booked. I don't know if it's next month or 2 months, something like that. You really don't like Sean Strickland, huh? How come? What's your problem with Sean Strickland? What's your problem with Sean Strickland? It sounds like you don't like him at all. My man said, "I hope Fluffy wins." Like, yeah, I know you don't like Strickland. I could tell the whole conversation we had. This whole time you've been very anti Strickland. So I get it though. He says a lot of things that offend some people. So he might have said something about your people. I don't know. It's not that I see Fluffy having the best chance against Hamzat. I don't think so, bro. I think Hamzat beats everybody. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Whether we like it or we don't like it, Hamzat probably beats everybody. That's probably the case. He probably beats everybody. I know people don't want to hear it, but I tell what people want to hear. I try to tell the truth. I try to tell the truth here. You know what I'm saying? We're truth tellers. Yeah, but I think Fluffy has the best chance, even though Hamzat probably wins. Why do you think he has the best chance? I guess you're gonna say he has good cardio, and I understand that's probably a good, that's a good assumption. But when you see what Adolfo Vieira did to Fluffy, you're like Hamzat could do that, and you could just wet blanket him. So it's like, Hamzat is not Adolfo Vieira. He's a lot better. Yeah, but he can't wrestle and grapple to Hamzat's level though. Hamzat's a different level, bro. Hamzat is like his level's up here. Fluffy's level's like, you know, he's out here getting out scrambled by Brendan Allen. I got to be honest. How do you feel about Brendan Allen said that he's about to fight DDP? How do you feel about that? How do you think that would go? Brendan Allen and DDP. Listen, guys, if DDP doesn't fix that takedown defense, Brendan Allen, hear me out. Hear me out. Brendan Allen might get this guy. I'm not gonna lie, he might get him. Since he can actually wrestle and grapple. That will be RDR versus Brendan Allen too. So do you think Brendan Allen will win? And how do you feel as a Dutchman seeing your fellow Dutchman go out there and quit? Literally said no mas, I cannot do this no more. That was a bad look. I'm not gonna lie. RDR kind of lost me as a fan. I really didn't like that. The fact that he quit, I really didn't like that. I'm like, bro, why are you quitting? I think Brendan Allen could beat a DDP too. I'm not gonna lie. I think he could beat DDP too. Call me crazy. I think Brendan Allen is he ain't Dutch no more. He ain't Dutch no more. It's crazy. He said he's not Dutch no more. You just disowning him like that, bro? That's crazy. That's crazy. He said he ain't Dutch no more. You ain't messing with him no more? How come, bro? Why he not Dutch no more? Cause he quit? Cause he quit? He quit on the stool. What was it? The third going into the fourth, or the fourth going into the fifth? Yeah, quitting in Canada is crazy. I don't know. Like that was crazy because he dominated the first and then basically just gassed out. Ended up on bottom and just quit. But it felt like Brendan Allen. I listened to him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it seemed like they were planning for that to happen. They thought that he was going to quit, which is crazy because I know that they were probably hype in the Netherlands after he beat Bobby Knuckles. Because I rate Bobby Knuckles very highly. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. But I'm not gonna lie, Bobby Knuckles recently, like Robert Whitaker, hasn't been looking as top tier as he once was. Like even before, like I'll say from that DDP fight on, Robert Whitaker has not looked the same. He went on that run and then he fought DDP, and DDP just beat him, bro. So RDR ain't Dutch no more. That's crazy, bro. Because he reps you guys real hard. His name is Real Dutch too. Real Dutch. I appreciate you for being in here so long, and I appreciate you for liking the live, man. Like, what would be your advice, Puncture? What would be your advice for my for this YouTube channel? It's fairly new. I've been making content for a minute, but I'm trying to figure out how to grab the UFC audience on these lives. Cause on TikTok it was just way easier, bro. It was just way easier than this, to be honest. But maybe I got to go during a busy fight week. I feel like my personality's all right. I'm not monotone, am I? I feel like it's all right. Like you could mess with me. Like you could talk shit to me if you want. We could go with opinions. I don't know if I need a green screen or something. Let's see if that does something. Oh, RDR ain't Dutch no more. That gets me. Just keep grinding. Your content is good. The people will come. I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that. I agree. I think the people will come eventually, bro. The people will come eventually. How does that look? How does that look? Hopefully this is bait. This is bait. I'm gonna do like another like 20 minutes. I'm gonna do another 20 minutes. Just keep up the good content. I appreciate that, man. That looks fire. Yeah, I got the next two UFC cards up. No UFC till mid January, but ask me anything. I got both UFC cards up there. Maybe this will attract a little bit more attention. Maybe people will start asking some questions, man. Let's talk about the card. That looks fire. I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that. By the way, Justin and Patty fight is a crime. Why? Because Armin deserves a title shot, right? Bro, what was I saying earlier in the live? It's about entertainment now. They don't care about merit no more. And here's a video that I'm. You know what? This is a great video idea. This is a great video idea. I don't. How many people are aware that the UFC and the WWE are owned by the same company? TKO owns both the WWE and the UFC, and because of that, expect the UFC to prioritize entertainment over merit. That's probably going to be the video. The video is going to be me talking about how these fights that are getting made are it's shocking people, but it shouldn't because the UFC is in an entertainment era. They have owners that are in the entertainment business, and they're trying to appeal to this new network in Paramount. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to appeal to this new network in Paramount. So we're gonna get fights like Justin Gaethje and Patty. We're gonna get fights like Lopez and Volkanovski. Even when there might be rightful contenders, they're gonna do what is a bigger name and what is more entertainment friendly for the general audience. They're not making cards for people like me and you that watch every week. They're making cards for people like the guy at work that only knows Patty the Batty. He only knows Sean O'Malley. That's the UFC's doing that because, like I said, they're owned by TKO. TKO is the parent company of the UFC and WWE. What's the WWE's business model? Entertainment, sell out shows, sell out venues, and that the UFC's on that same type of time. The UFC's on that same type of time. They're trying to turn this into an entertainment business. It always has been, but they're prioritizing entertainment over merit. So a guy like Armin might not ever get that title shot, unfortunately. I don't watch every week either, usually because the fights start at 4 at night for me. That's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I do watch every week, but I'm in the United States and I live on the East Coast of the United States. So usually like a late card for me starts at 10 p.m. and ends at 1 a.m. usually. That's the usual for me. That's the usual. Besides that though, it's not like that. Four at night is crazy. Starts like prelims or that's the whole card. Like the main card starts at 4. Oh yeah. Oh really? So it's 12. Okay. You sent me military time, bro. You over here? I'm American, brother. It's 12 a.m. over there though. That's the main card starts at 4 a.m. in Europe. I'm not gonna lie, the European fans, you guys are better than me. I'll probably miss every card. No, I wouldn't. I love the UFC. When they did the China card, I was on live on my TikTok watching it with people. Like I woke up super early, like 3 a.m. and watched the whole card with everybody. I got a few followers off that too, because I was one of the only ones that was willing to do that. You miss a lot of cards. I mean, you don't like to rewatch them. Do you see what happens at least? Do you keep up like with what happens? Like this person won, this person lost, type stuff. They're moving it back though an hour. So the main card's about to start at 3 a.m. for you. That's crazy. Main card 3 a.m. is crazy. You watch the results every time. Do you go back and watch the fights over, or you don't like to watch fights after they happen? I appreciate you for being here too, my friend. You watch the highlights. I get you. Certain fights you got to go back and watch though. Like hopefully you saw that Joshua Van and Brandon Royval back in like 6 months ago. Hopefully you've seen that. That was a banger. There's a couple of fights you got to go like Chris Duncan, Mateus Rebecki. Fire, 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 fire. Really, really good fight. Really, really good fight. I'm just trying to get this algorithm to know me, my friend. I'm trying to get this algorithm to know me. I'm gonna be. I'm coming for that MMA Joey dude too. MMA Joey, that motherfucker trash. I'm coming for him. I'm coming for MMA Guru, even though I like Guru. Royval Van Fight of the Year, I agree. Yo, isn't it crazy how Cape just walked down Royval and knocked him out? I knew he was gonna win, but he beat him bad. He beat him bad. I didn't think he was gonna do him like that. I knew he'd win, but I didn't think he was gonna walk him down and KO him in the first. I was like, oof. And then Manel Cape on the mic, you can't tell me it's not fire. He be talking his shit. I like it. I like it. The hashtags on the stream will help a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna do that next time. Next time, like when I'm setting up the stream in the description, I'm gonna put hashtags in there. Do you just watch the fights or have you trained before? I was literally talking about this earlier. I've trained like individual martial arts, like I've done boxing. I I did wrestling. I did that in middle school because I was working and getting into trouble in high school, and then as an adult, I've done jujitsu. So yeah, and I'm a super fan of the UFC, but full on MMA. If I'm being honest, no, no, unless it's like messing around with some friends, throwing the gloves on, rolling around. But nothing serious though. Nothing serious. I don't want to get punched in the head for a living. I don't. I'd rather talk about the fights with you guys. I'm not about to be out here getting CTE. I'll do it for the professionals. Your favorite fighter in every division. I like this, bro. Blue belt, blue belt, blue belt. Spencer. But I did a lot of no gi though. I did a lot of no gi, and my cousin, who's my instructor, he's a black belt under Henzo Gracie, but he doesn't promote without the gi. Your favorite fighter in every division. Flyweight, my favorite fighter is Joshua Van. And it's not because he just won the championship in the way he did. I already like Joshua Van. But Joshua Van, I like Tatsuro Taira too. At 135, 135, I like Corey Sandhagen. I'm not gonna lie, I like Corey Sandhagen a lot. Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot. It's gonna sound like I have recency bias. It just happened. They just happened to fight in the same card. Peyton Talbot, I like him a lot. I think he's the future. John Matsumoto. Wow. Who else? 145. I like John Silva, Diego Lopez. Yeah. um, sorry about that. 155 is Max Holloway. 170. I like Michael Morales a lot. I like Shavkat. I like those two. 185, Hamzat. Hamzat at 185, 205. I hate the 205 division. Um, Alex, just because I don't like the 205 division in general. 205 is bad. And at heavyweight, I like right now. I'm really liking Waldo. Like I just like his personality. But I say Tom Aspinall. I like Tom Aspinall. I like Waldo. Cyril Gahn, obviously. Heavyweight's a tough one for me. Like I don't really have a favorite. Very few promote with the gi, but easier to get people to go to no gi. Yeah, yeah. My cousin's very traditional, so he won't promote without the gi. But I prefer to roll with no gi. I'm not gonna lie, rolling with no gi is a lot like it's a lot more fun to me. But like people that actually do know how to roll with the gi, they're bro, it's crazy. Like me and my cousin rolls with the gi, bro. He got mount on me. He's like 180 pounds. I'm like 215, 220. And he literally like it felt like he was 300 pounds on top of me. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was like I was shocked. That's when you realize you're just at a whole different skill level. Like he was way better than I was. I like Waldo the best in heavyweight since he just fights, usually finishes. He will fight anyone, anytime. Yeah, that's why I like him. I like him too. He's over here scrapping, ready to take fights on short notice, fly across the world. That's very likable. That's very likable. So to be honest, I like Waldo a lot for that. You're definitely right. Waldo's probably my favorite heavyweight, but it's hard for me to find heavyweights I like. Like I was on the Tom Aspinall train, but like it's hard to be a Tom Aspinall fan these days. But what happened? But I'm still supporting my boy. His brother follows me on TikTok, so that's pretty cool. He be in my chat, and I'd be chatting it up with him. So it'd be pretty dope. Spencer, if you're in here, man, like the live. If you're enjoying it, you could always ask any questions about anything. I'm cool with that. I appreciate you guys that are in here that are willing to talk to me. Give me a piece of your time. I give you a piece of my time, and we do it, man. D. Lou's one of my favorite. I just love how funny that guy is. Yeah, Derek Lewis is funny, very funny. I remember I watched the Balls is Hot thing live, bro. That had me rolling for days, bro. That had me rolling for my balls is hot. Trump said they talking about the Monday news. That was hilarious. Had to knock that Russian motherfucker out. I was like, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I do appreciate I appreciate Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is a very entertaining guy. I'll say that. I like Volkov actually. You know what? Volkov might be my favorite heavyweight. What is my craziest hot take? Craziest hot. Oh, Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot is the best fighter in the 135 division. Peyton Talbot beats Marab. Peyton Talbot knocks out Sean O'Malley. Peyton Talbot's only tough matchup is maybe Umar. I think he could beat everyone else in the division. I think Peyton Talbot is elite. Peyton Talbot, future champion. John Silva, future champion. Carlos Prates, not future champion. Peyton beats Jan. Peyton 2, 3 more fights. He beats Jan. He beats Jan. Peyton beat. Listen, man. Peyton. He getting up here, bro. He getting up here. Peyton will knock out Sean O'Malley. That's he will knock out Sean O'Malley and he'll finish Marab to the body. Piotr Jan will be a tough fight, but we get a split decision. I don't care what anybody says. I was on my boy Joshua Van. He became the champion, and now we ride him with Peyton. I didn't switch up on Peyton when he lost to Jaime Barcelos. I did not switch up on him. I didn't switch up on him. I still was a fan of him. The zesty king himself. We never switch up. That was a fluke win though. We're taking it, man. You gave me the follow, so we're taking it. We're taking it. I'm sorry, brother. We're taking it. I know, bro. I know you're talking about the Van win. We're taking it. I don't care, man. We're taking it. We got to take our W's where we can. We're taking it. We're taking it. Joshua Van, world champion. I, I put him on my. I put him on my shoulders, and we'll run around with the belt. Pantoja is my favorite flyweight, by the way. Like I actually do like Pantoja a lot. I hate that it had to be that way. It's unfortunate, you know. Like who wants it? Who wants to win a belt like that? It is what it is, though. It is what it is, though. Yeah, I know, but that's the only way you could have won from Pantoja. We don't know. We didn't get to see them fight. You can't say that, my man. That's not fair to Joshua Van. Joshua Van didn't get a proper fight out of Pantoja because Pantoja got injured. Pantoja didn't get a proper fight out of Joshua Van because he got injured. So it's hard to judge it based off that. You know what I'm saying? That like it could have went. We don't know how it could have went. We don't. You think it could have went a certain way, but we don't know. We will see it in the rematch. We will. An injured Pantoja now too. A delicate Pantoja with a young Joshua Van getting better and better in between fights. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's all I'm gonna say. I remember he reminds me of Holloway. What did Holloway do? He beat a Brazilian legend twice. That's all I'm gonna say. We will see though. We will. Listen, Poke Sure, I'm glad that you were in the live for so long. I'm gonna end the live. I'm probably gonna go live a little bit on my TikTok. I appreciate you being here, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be going live. Maybe I'll go live again tomorrow. If you show up tomorrow, that's love, bro. I appreciate you for being here, man. Thank you.